All right, ladies and gentlemen, I believe I may be live again. I'm not sure. I'm now live? Well, thank you. Good God, Facebook. Okay, the good news is you missed my singing. The even better news is you missed me threatening bodily harm to Facebook's buildings, not the people. I'm not mad at the people. I am mad at Facebook, the institution. I may have threatened to harm them, but it is useless because they're very far away and I cannot be bothered, so don't worry about it too much. Can I see my comments? I can see comments! Haha! Comments are a thing. Nope, that's okay. Okay, so this means, and I think I even have my, yes! Shock of all shocks, I think I even have my slides still. Okay, finally, we are getting to the exciting part. Your favorite part, my favorite part. Let's go on. Let's do this. I'm giving away 5 books today, one of which isn't even coming out until July. So these are the preest of pre-releases. Let's start with... I wanted the description, but now I can't see if I'm holding it up right. Okay, sorry. Fly Girl, a memoir by Anne Hood. Anne Hood is the author of, I believe, a number of novels, but this is her memoir about her time as a TWA flight attendant, which she did for some time. It is described as an entertaining and fascinating memoir from a gifted storyteller of her years as a TWA agent. She reveals how the job empowered her despite its roots in sexist standards. Packed with funny, moving, and shocking stories of life as a flight attendant, Fly Girl captures the nostalgia and magic of air travel at its height, and the thrill that remains with every takeoff. So that's Fly Girl. Next up is another memoir. We'll get into fiction soon, I promise. But the next memoir is... No, you went too far. Come back. Come back. There we go. Okay. Black Boy Smile by D. Watkins. D. Watkins would become an author, a college professor, an editor of Salon magazine, also a devoted husband and father. But as a young boy, he was a kid on the streets of East Baltimore who was sort of thrust into a world of selling crack and violence and all of these things. So this is described as equally moving and liberating. Black Boy's Smile is D. Watkins' love letter to black boys in concrete cities, a daring testimony that brings to life the contradiction, fears, and hopes of boys hurtling headfast into adulthood. Black Boy Smile is the story of a black boy who healed. So that's that memoir right there. Next up is a fiction book I've given away before. It's called Home Reading Service. It's a poignant novel about a man guilty of a minor offense who finds purpose in his punishment, which is reading to the elderly and disabled. So that's Home Reading Service. I believe this was originally in Spanish. Next up is sorry. I should give you the full thing about this. Black Boy Smile doesn't come out until May 17th, so this is an arc, like I said. And Fly Girl doesn't come out until May 3rd. Next up is Hawk Mountain, which comes out on July 5th. It's by Connor Habib. This is about an English teacher who is gaslit by a charismatic high school bully in a tense story of deception, manipulation, and murder. Okay, so that's Hawk Mountain. Moving on to another thriller, More Than You'll Ever Know by Katie, I think Gutierrez. This comes out June 7th. You could have it in your hands as early as tomorrow. This is described as an evocative drama about a woman who's caught leading a double life after one husband murders the other, and the true crime writer who becomes obsessed with telling her story. This masterful work of literary suspense marks the debut of an extraordinary new writer. So, I have a chance to try out a new writer. If you want any of these 5 books, go ahead and get onto the giveaway page, which I put in the description of the first video. And it's still the same giveaway page as before. I always think, well, if you bookmarked it, you could find it again. But man, that is a geeky thing to do. It's a thing I would do, but I don't necessarily expect anybody else to do that. But anyway, get on there, pick out which one of these you want. And also there's more leftovers if you want one of those in there as well. I will start giving them out in about 24 hours, so about 11:30 tomorrow. And I will contact you if you win. All right. So we've done the giveaway. Let's move on to today's books. Many of which are going to be thrillers, except for that last one, which is a little weird. But you can tell me what you think when I describe it. All right. Let me get a little tea. We'll get into our May yellow labels. At the Quiet Edge by Victoria Helen Stone. Abandoned by her fugitive ex-husband, Lily Brown is rebuilding her life on the edge of a Kansas town that still feels the sting of his crimes. Lily lies low, managing the isolated storage facility where she lives with her 12-year-old son, Everett, and planning a better future for them both. That requires keeping secrets. Everett has them too. After breaking into a storage unit, Everett finds photographs and news clippings of 5 girls missing for decades. For Everett, it's an adventure and a tempting mystery to solve. But digging further into a stranger's obsession is putting Everett and his mother in the crosshairs of a killer. Then Lily's ex resurfaces from the shadows. Just as suddenly, an attentive new man enters Lily's life, and a suspicious detective, responding to reports of a prowler, watches every move Lily makes. It's getting harder for Lily to know who to trust, or whose secrets pose the most frightening threat of all. If you're interested in At the Quiet Edge, it comes out May 1st. Our release dates are all over the place, by the way, in May. So, there's no one date. They're all going to have different ones. Next up, Death in a Blackout by Jessica Ellicott. 1940. Britain is at war. Rector's daughter, Wilhelmina Harkness, longs to do her duty for her country, but when her strict mother forbids her to enlist, their bitter argument has devastating consequences. Unable to stay in the village she loves, Wilhelmina, reinventing herself as Billy, spends everything she has on a one-way ticket up north. Hull is a distant, dangerous city, but Billy is determined to leave her painful memories behind and start afresh, whatever the cost. The last thing Billy expects on her first evening in Hull, however, is to be caught in the city's first air raid, or to stumble across the body of a young woman suspiciously untouched by debris. If the air raid didn't kill the glamorous stranger, what did? Billy is determined to get justice, and her persistence earns her an invitation to the newly formed Women's Police Constabulary. It's policeness. It's police times in Britain, but they had to make it fancy. Anyway, but as the case unfolds, putting her at odds with both high-ranking members of the force as well as the victim's powerful family, Billy begins to wonder if she can trust her new friends and colleagues, or if someone amongst them is working for the enemy. This is going to be a new series, so this is book number 1 in the new series, and it should all be set in World War II Britain with a female cop, Billy Harkness. So if you're interested in Death in a Blackout, it comes out May 3rd. Next up is Magpie by Elizabeth Day. Marissa and Jake are a perfect couple, and Kate, their new lodger, is the perfect roommate, and not just because her rent payments will give them the income they need to start trying for a family. Except no one is perfect. Sure, Kate doesn't seem to care much about personal boundaries and can occasionally seem overly familiar with Jake, but Marissa doesn't let it concern her. Kate will soon be gone, and it will just be her, Jake, and their future baby. Conceiving a baby is easier said than done, though, and Jake and Marissa's perfect relationship is put to the test through months of fertility treatments and false starts. To make matters worse, Kate's boundary pushing turns into an all-out obsession with Jake, with Marissa, and with their future child. Who is this woman? Why does she seem to know everything about Marissa and Jake? In her quest to find out who Kate really is, Marissa might destroy everything she's worked so hard to create. her perfect romance, her perfect family, and her perfect self. Jake doesn't know the half of what Marissa has created and what she stands to lose. Magpie is a tense and twisting novel about mothers and children, envy and possession, and dangers of getting everything you've ever dreamed. We are also buying the audiobook on this one. So if you're interested in Magpie by Elizabeth Day, it comes out May 3rd. All right. This one has a nice, quick, straightforward kind of description. This is The Murder Rule. The Murder Rule by Dervla McTiernan, I think. Okay. First rule, make them like you. Second rule, make them need you. Third rule, make them pay. They think I'm a young, idealistic law student, that I'm passionate about reforming a corrupt and brutal system. They think I'm working hard to impress them. They think I'm here to save an innocent man on death row. They're wrong. I'm going to bury him. For fans of the compulsive psychological suspense of Ruth Ware and Tana French, this is a mother-daughter story, one running from a horrible truth and the other fighting to reveal it. It twists and turns in shocking ways, and it comes from the international bestseller of The Scholar and The Ruin. We are also purchasing the audiobook if you're interested in that. The Murder Rule comes out May 10th. Next up, another one with sort of a short description. Exit Strategy by Linda L. Richards. Her assignment is different this time, to keep someone alive. Being a hired killer has taken its toll, though not as much as losing her whole family before she made that abrupt career change. She's tired and depressed, but keeping the beautiful CTO of a hot tech company alive seems worthwhile. There are complications, and some people have to die as she protects her target, and the invention that will change the world for good. This is considered perfect for fans of The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo and Dexter, so clearly this is going to get bloody. If you're interested in Exit Strategy, it comes out May 17th. We gotta move up. Kick it. Go. There we go. Next up is Two Nights in Lisbon by Chris Pavone. Pavone? I have no idea. Okay. You think you know a person. Ariel Price wakes up in Lisbon alone. Her husband is gone. No warning. No note. No answering his phone. Something is wrong. She starts with hotel security, then the police, then the American embassy. At each, confronting questions she can't fully answer. What exactly is John doing in Lisbon? Why would he drag her along on a business trip? Who would want to harm him? And why does Ariel know so little about her new, much younger husband? The clock is ticking. Ariel is increasingly frustrated and desperate, running out of time, and the one person in the world who can help is the one person she least wants to ask. Tautly wound and expertly crafted, Two Nights in Lisbon is a riveting thriller about a woman under pressure, and how far she will go when everything is on the line. With sparkling prose and razor-sharp insights, best-selling author Chris Pavone delivers a stunning and sophisticated international thriller that will linger long after the surprising final page. This got starred reviews from Publishers Weekly and Kirkus, so if you're interested in Two Nights in Lisbon, it comes out May 24th. All right. Never Coming Home by Hannah Mary McKinnon. I need some tea. I have my thermal cup, which is really nice because I was able to make it like 10 o'clock, but it was still rippingly hot. So I can't quite get that, like, it's not at that soothing stage where you can drink it and just be like, ah. Okay. First comes love, then comes murder. Lucas Forrester didn't hate his wife. Michelle was brilliant, sophisticated, and beautiful. Sure, she had extravagant spending habits and that petty attitude, a total disregard for anyone below her status. But she also had a lot to offer, most notably wealth that only the 1% could comprehend. For years, Lucas has been honing a flawless plan to inherit Michelle's fortune. Unfortunately, it involved taking a hit out on her. Every track was covered, no trace left behind, and now Lucas plays the grieving husband so well he deserves an award. But when a shocking photo and cryptic note show up on his doorstep, Lucas goes from hunter to prey. Someone is onto him, and they're closing in. Told with dark wit and sharply feminist sensibility, Never Coming Home is a terrifying tale of duplicity that will have you side-eyeing your spouse as you dash to the breathtaking end. Okay, if you're interested in Never Coming Home, it is coming out May 24th. Next up is Outside. Okay, oh wow. The author's name is Ragnar, probably, Jonasson, I think. Jonasson? I'm not sure. Okay. 4 friends. One night. Not everyone will come out alive. When a deadly snowstorm strikes the Icelandic highlands, 4 friends seek shelter in a small, abandoned hunting lodge. It is in the middle of nowhere, and there's no way of communicating with the outside world. They are isolated, but they are not alone. As the night darkens and fears intensify, an old tragedy gradually surfaces, one that forever changed the course of their friendship. Those dark memories could hold the key to the mystery the friends now find themselves in, and whether they will survive until morning. So if you're interested in Outside, I'm not going to pronounce the author's name again, it comes out May 24th. All right. This is a cozy mystery if you're looking for some cozy times. Miss Morton and the English House Party Murder by Catherine Lloyd. The options for the penniless daughter of a deceased earl are few indeed in Regency England. So, following the suspicious death of her father, the Earl of Morton, and the discovery that she and her much younger sister have been left without income or home, Lady Caroline takes a post as a lady's companion to the wealthy widow Froggerton. Just as Caroline is getting accustomed to her new position, her aunt, Lady Eleanor Greenwood, invites her and her employer to a house party in the countryside to celebrate her youngest daughter's birthday. Mrs. Matilda, Mattie, Froggerton, sees this as an opportunity to introduce her own rather wild daughter, Dorothy, to the ton, and Caroline is eager to see her sister, who as a child lives with their aunt. But all is not well at the Greenwood estate. For one thing, Lady Caroline's former fiancé, Lord Francis Chapman, is a guest and refuses to speak to her. Far worse, after a series of troubling harassments of the staff, an elderly family member is found stabbed by a knitting needle. As Caroline and an unexpected ally, Mrs. Froggerton, attempt to solve the chilling crime, they discover the culprit may be leaving bizarre clues as to who will be next in the nursery. But they must make haste, for this heartless killer is engaged in anything but child's play. This is book 1 in another new series. Presumably this Regency-era lady solving mysteries around England. If you're interested in Miss Morton and the English House Party Murder, it comes out May 31st. All right, so this is my oddball. Also the last book of the day. Still too hot. Okay. The Late Comer by Jean Henf Corlitz, I think. The Late Comer follows the story of the wealthy New York City-based Oppenheimer family, from the first meeting of parents Salo and Johanna under tragic circumstances to their triplets born during the early days of IVF. As children, the 3 siblings, Harrison, Llewellyn, and Sally, feel no strong familial bond and cannot wait to go their separate ways, even as their father becomes more distant and their mother more desperate. When the triplets leave for college, Johanna, faced with being truly alone, makes the decision to have a 4th child. What role will the latecomer play in this fractured family? A complex novel that builds slowly and deliberately, the latecomer touches on the topics of grief and guilt, generational trauma, privilege and race, traditions and religion, and family dynamics. It is a profound and witty family story from an accomplished author known for the depth of her character studies, expertly woven storylines, and plot twists. This got a starred review from Publishers Weekly. We are also getting the audiobook. I think it might already have holds on it. So if you're interested in The Late Comer, it comes out May 31st. Okay. That's Tea and New Book Tuesday. If you want to meet me here again in a week, we will be discussing romance and historical fiction. Other than that, have a good week, guys. I will see you next Tuesday. Bye.